an offer that we got to like be well, not really introduced, because we had the first one was that we got to read was 1066, but that was before I actually looked into the offer's pages, you know, and tried to inform myself a bit more. Chewbacca, written CH00BAKKA. But yeah, Chewbacca. The last one we had of yours was 2573. 2573, which was the the 50th church, like changing like a lot of like magazines to, I believe it was like supposed to like be more like communistic beliefs, maybe, if I recall correctly. Alright, that's the last one we had from Chewbacca, and this time we have Herpes and ERPlex. Like, here for you guys to see it. ERPlex. If that's how, like, you're supposed to, like, pronounce this part. Or ERPlex. Which I don't think that's how it's pronounced. But okay, let's go. Okay, it has adult content. I know usually whenever the SPs say that, there's nothing really to worry about, like picture-wise, but I'm still going to do this just to be sure. Features sexual themes or languages, but does not depict sexual acts if you're above the... Yeah, we're good. What is this one? Oh, okay. That's in the far future. Okay, we're good. Again, so far, in my experience, whenever it says like adult content, we don't have to worry about like images, but it could still happen. Maybe like one SCP does that and I'm like, oh shit, I was not prepared, and now Twitch is gonna kill me. Level 3/2607 classified. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. The Foundation has made large anonymous donations to sexually transmitted diseases awareness and prevention programs in a number of countries with documented SCP-2607 outbreaks. The patents to the antiviral drugs acyclovir and valacyclovir have been purchased by Foundation front companies, and these drugs have been substantially reduced in price to aid in SCP-2607 containment efforts. Efforts have been made in several countries to ban or regulate the practice of phone sex, especially in a high-volume commercialized form. These efforts have largely been unsuccessful, and in some cases merely caused these phone sex telephone lines to move their operations to jurisdictions which are more difficult for the Foundation to monitor. Individuals identified as carriers of any strain of SCP-2607 are to be detained and questioned about their sexual history to identify other possible carriers, then treated with a targeted antiviral drugs developed as part of SCP-2607 containment initiative. Medical records of herpes simplex cases are to be regularly cross-referenced with employees and habitual users of phone sex telephone lines, and with users of sexual role-playing websites. Any pattern indicative of possible SCP-2607 outbreak is to be investigated as soon as possible. Samples of -1 and -2 are stored in Biosite 66, cryogenic storage facility. Research proposals involving exposure of D-Class personnel to SCP-2607 must be approved by Site 66 Ethics Committee liaison, and all experimental subjects must be treated with the targeted SCP-2607 antiviral at the conclusion of the experiment. Makes sense. The description. SCP-2607 is the collective designation for two strains of the herpes simplex virus with similar anomalous means of transmissions, designated -1 and 2. Both strains of SCP-2607 cause similar symptoms to HSV-2, the herpes simplex strain, which causes most cases of genital herpes. Blisters appear on the genitalia within approximately 7 days of initial exposure and heal over the next several weeks. SCP-2607 strains can be transmitted via sexual contact as well as non-anomalous varieties of herpes simplex, but each can also be transmitted by certain non-physical sexual activities. -1 primary anomalous mode of transmissions is through phone sex, sexual role-playing, or description of hypothetical sexual activity transmitted via telephone. For -1 to be transmitted, the infected and uninfected participants must describe a scenario in which, were the sexual activity occurring physically, it would be possible to transmit Herpes simplex descriptions of proper condom use reduce transmission rate by approximately 30%. Research has shown that -1 can also be transmitted via in-person sexual role-playing. Example, phone sex without the telephone. Oh, that's... Can you imagine doing phone sex and be like, put a condom on, okay? don't wanna get infected with your HIV, okay? With your STD. So you put a condom on even when you have phone sex with me, okay? In-person sexual role-playing reduces the transmission rate by approximately 50%. -1 cannot be transmitted through recorded speech or through text-based erotic role-playing. Infected and uninfected participants must share a direct audio connection. Oh, that helps. A lot of like sexual role-playing with phones nowadays starts off with text only, but of course it can go do a call or a video call or anything like that. -2's primary anonymous mode of transmission is through online erotic role-playing. Similar to -1, both the infected and uninfected participants must describe a scenario which could lead to transmission of non-anomalous herpes simplex. Unlike -1, the responses need to be immediate. Successful transmission has been observed with a lag between successive messages of as long as 3 weeks. If you say in the roleplay that you put a condom on, does that help? Or does that still... I guess because it does say here... in-person sexual role-playing reduces the transmission rate by approximately... Well, in-person sexual role-playing, okay. So I wonder if you say like, oh, I'm gonna put a condom on and then we go to town, if that makes the anomaly go like, ah, shit, they thought of it. -2 can also be transmitted via SMS-based erotic role-playing sexting, and we... Well, okay, wait. It's -2. Never mind. Yeah, okay. I was about to say, hey, that's not fair. You told me just a moment ago that does not work. But okay, so if -1 cannot be infecting you, it's gonna be -2. So you're not safe either way. It just depends on what type of freaky you are. What kind of sexual adventure you want to go. What kind of guy you are. What if somebody come in here and see you nude? You like that? Okay, sexting and via telephone, although the rate of transmission is reduced by approximately 75%. Erotic role-playing not mediated by some electronic medium in person or via written or printed descriptions cannot transmit -2. -1 was first identified by the Foundation in 1983 when a number of individuals reporting herpes simplex infection without prior sexual activity were found to have called the same phone sex line. Records from the phone sex line indicated that each of these individuals had engaged in sexual role-playing with the same operator, Miss Ella Pickering. What a name. What a weird name. And a student at the University of Central Lancashire. Mrs. Pickering was no wait, Miss. Because it's Mrs. otherwise, right? Yeah, Miss Pickering was detained and interviewed. She claims to have only had a single sexual partner, a fellow student named Samian Plesko, who she met. What is that? Whom she had met at a party. Miss Pickering only engaged in sexual intercourse with this individual once, and said that he left her flat before she and said that he left her flat before she woke up and never called her back. University of Central Lancashire records contain no mention of a student by this name. Simon Plesko has been classified as person of interest -A. -2 was identified in 2005 when almost every active member of Islands of Desire, a server of the MMORPG Neverwinter Nights, devoted to erotic role-playing, sought treatment for herpes simplex, of course. Massively multiplayer online role-playing game, a video game in which a large number of players interact with each other in a large open virtual world. Yes, sir. Approximately 1 week before the first user reported herpes simplex infection, the server had hosted a nautical group sex-themed event called Orgies of the Sword Coast, coinciding with the release of the Neverwinter Nights expansion pack, Pirates of the Sword Coast. Of course, an individual with the username Simplex has been very active. I mean, the name just tells you everything you need to know, right? Of course, if you don't know, if you don't have the education about STDs and HIVs and all that stuff, you're not going to look at Simplex and be like, oh, yeah, that's just some, like, it's like simple, but like, it sounds cool, Simplex, yeah, sure. But then if you think like Herpes Simplex, like, hey, hold on now, man. I've been very active during this event. Oh, he's been added. Attempts to trace his users via IP or payment information proved fruitless. Investigation is still ongoing. And this, I already clicked on this one, is a SCP in the 5000s. So we will have Simplex come back to us in maybe in 2 years. In maybe 2 years. Who knows? 3, potentially 3. Most likely 3. Oh man, that sucks for... That sucks too. Like, imagine like being Miss Ella, like Miss Pickering, and just be like, yeah, I didn't mean, like, I didn't know. I didn't know I gave everybody fucking magic herpes through a phone call. Like, how was I supposed to predict that from happening? You don't. You just don't. That's impossible to predict. How are you supposed to predict any of that? I just feel bad for everybody. Like, it's very like, because like if you think about the movie It Follows, right? That's also like kind of like a metaphor for sexual transmitted diseases, because it's like this whole idea of like, oh, you need to have sex with somebody to give this weird curse to them. Again, it sounds very much like a sexual transmitted disease, right? Like, you don't want to be the only one with this curse after you, because like the guy who gave it to her was saying like, oh, I still see somebody like walking towards me, but it's not like they don't like fully come towards me. Yeah, it's just very interesting. Because like this feels also like in that same vein of like you, but this one's more accidental. The other one was like definitely more on purpose, of like you want to like you want to transfer this curse to the next person, because you just don't want to deal with it anymore. You don't want to be followed by some random person that transforms into another person every single time you see it. Look at them, you know. But yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that was a good one from Chewbacca, if I recall correctly, right? Yes. That was a good one, Chewbacca. I like that. Just don't call a sexual hotline after this, SCP, guys. Don't do that. Don't suddenly get the hots for it and try to imitate this thing, okay? Behave.